The Lakers 92-78 following the loss to the Utah Jazz Monday night in Salt Lake City. And following tonight's game, the Knicks will head back to New York. They'll face the Indiana Pacers at Madison Square Garden on Saturday.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
We're set for the introduction of the Hertz starting lineup. Let's join with the public address.
And tonight's National Basketball Association game featuring the New York Knicks. And your Golden State Warriors. Introducing the visiting Knicks at forward. His 10th year from Ohio State, standing 6'7", number 9, Tony Campbell. At the other forward position from Virginia Union in his 9th year, standing 6'9", number 34, Charles Oakley. Starting in center from Georgetown in his 9th year, standing 7 feet tall, number 33, Patrick Ewing. And one guard position from Marquette in his 11th year, standing 6'4", number 25, Doc Rivers. And at the other guard position in his 5th year from Oklahoma State, standing 6'5", number 3, John Starks. The head coach of the Knicks is Pat Riley, assisted by Dick Harder and Jeff Van Gundy. The New York trainers are Mike Saunders and Tim Walsh. And now the starting lineup for your Golden State Warriors. At forward in his 3rd year from Syracuse, standing 6'9", number 30, Billy Owens. At the other forward position from Michigan in his 1st year, standing 6'10", number 4, Chris Webber. Starting at center from Iowa State in his 3rd year, standing 6'9", number 52, Victor Alexander. And one guard position from Southern in his 6th year, standing 5'11", number 6, the captain, Avery Johnson. And at the other guard position in his 2nd year from Alabama, standing 6'5", number 15, latrell Sprewell. Warriors head coach Don Nelson, assisted by Greg Popovich, Don Nelson, and Paul Pressey.
Don Nelson in his 17th season as an NBA head coach. Earlier, John talked with Don Nelson and asked how will the Warriors match up against Patrick Ewing, and Don demonstrated his twisted mind with this response.
We're going to change the strategy of the game. We're going to put our point guard on him defensively. That's never happened to him before. This will be something entirely new. I don't know how he'll react. But Keith Jennings, when he comes in the game, will guard him at 5'7", and then AJ will start on him, and he's about 5'11", maybe.
Of course, most coaches who give an answer like that, you'd say, God, what a funny sense of humor. The thing is, Don Nelson mixes his humor with reality so often that what he just said might actually take place. He's been known to do crazy things like that.
Not quite Keith Jennings, though, matched with Patrick Ewing, but he does believe in mismatches being made to end up in his favor. We have seen that with all kinds of maneuvering. So although Don sounded like he has been spending too much idle time, as you say, there could be some truth in what he will attempt to do as this game progresses. The officials, Ed T. Rush, Greg Willard, and an NBA rookie, Sean Corbin. The Knicks control the opening tip. Starks for the side jump. The Knicks with a 2-0 lead.
John Starks appreciates a wide-open jump shot.
Alexander likes to shoot from deep, and he is outside, so he'll take Patrick Ewing with him. Starks called for the foul on Sprewell. Latrell Sprewell in his second year from Alabama, first-round draft pick last season. Very impressive as a rookie. Averaged 15 points a game plus the excellent defensive work. And this season he is leading Golden State in scoring at 20 points per game.
This is a guy who'd be better off, and I'm sure he's learned this by now, not reading what's written about him, because people say good defensive player, perfect guy to come off the bench when everybody gets healthy. Meanwhile, he goes about playing his 45+ minutes a game, leading this Golden State Warrior team in scoring, not defense, and also proving Marv to be an excellent rebounder. They send him to the boards quite often.
Big guard at 6'5", about 190. Kicked out of bounds. And Tony Campbell will throw it in. Tony Campbell making his second straight start, which means Anthony Mason comes off the bench where he has been more effective. They try to trap Rivers. Hopefully the open man. Yes. So the Knicks swinging the ball well.
Well, you know, Patrick Ewing is going to get into the flow and get the ball shortly, but it's important to get Oakley involved like the Knicks just did. Get him into that game early offensively.
Three-point attempt. Well, Sprewell one glass for the three. Warriors 5 and the Knicks 4.
He's no secret from three-point range. That was his 30th of the season, 30th that he's made, which is the exact number of threes that John Starks has made for the season. So it gives you an idea that Sprewell is no secret from long range.
Billy Owens called for the foul, non-shooting affair. Alexander now guarding Oakley, and Ewing putting the move on Owens. And Owens called for the foul once again. Patrick Ewing will go to the line. Ewing on Tuesday night in Los Angeles, 11 for 22, 29 points, 19 rebounds, 6 blocked shots for the second straight game.
Patrick still leading the Knicks, as you can see, in scoring and blocks, but also in free throw attempts, as you would expect. Patrick also at 83% from the line is continuing his excellent shooting from the line this season.
The Knicks 6 and the Warriors 5. Avery Johnson signed as a free agent. Played last year with the San Antonio Spurs. A lot of folks surprised that the Spurs did not re-sign Avery Johnson, but the feeling was he was asking for too much money. And they weren't sold on Avery hitting the open shot. Here's Sprewell, had to force it with the shot clock running down. If you look at the Spurs and all their problems at the point guard position, and no question Avery has Campbell with a pretty move. I don't think there's any question that Avery Johnson would be the #1 point guard in San Antonio right now. Knicks 8, Warriors 5.
It's the way they've been playing, Marv. There have been no severe problems in that area. They just had their 8-game winning streak stopped by Seattle in overtime.
The tip by Alexander. After Johnson went 1-on-2. The Knicks 8 and Golden State 7. Starks being played by Sprewell. Nice pick and roll with Ewing. And the foul on Alexander, and Ewing is hurt. Patrick Ewing is hurt.
Number 52, Victor Alexander, first personal foul.
22nd timeout call by Pat Riley.
Well, Patrick Ewing on this nicely executed pick and roll with Starks, trying to dump that ball over Alexander for the second time in his moves to the basket tonight. Patrick has tried to extend to a dunk situation, and this time he threw himself off balance so much so that he hit the floor. A great pass from Starks right through the defense. Surprising that Patrick would try that move, Marv. He doesn't have the hand size that really holds on to that ball right through the dunk.
Nice response from the crowd here at the Coliseum, with Ewing getting up and seems to be indicating that he's all right.
Very gingerly.
And Patrick will hang in. course, he must take the free throws, or else he would have to leave the game. So we'll have to see if following these foul shots he can play.
Ideally, you like to put ice on a player's injury at this point right after it happens and not wait. But it's difficult for the Knicks to do that unless Pat Riley took him out right after this and let him get some ice quickly.
Pat Riley just received a message from Patrick Ewing, who said, "Take me out." Just told him as he hits 1 out of 2. And Ewing hobbling down court as Herb Williams is being sent in. Ewing still hurt, and now with that foul call, a pushing foul on Oakley, Herb Williams will come on for Patrick Ewing.
John Cirillo, Marv, just gave me a report that Patrick hyperextended his left knee, and he's going to try and play through it.
So Herb Williams has checked in, and he will guard Victor Alexander. Nice play by Oakley. The crowd wanted to travel. They felt Oakley walk. Here's Williams. Rebound Oakley. The Knicks with a 9-7 lead. Starks changed his mind, but that pass deflected out by Sprewell. Knicks with 14 on the shot clock. And it appears that Patrick Ewing is headed back to the Knicks locker room along with assistant trainer Tim Walsh. Rivers just did hit the rim. Owens going behind the back. Johnson. Avery Johnson ties the game at 9.
Very impressive ball handling and decision making shown by Billy Owens.
Starks throwing at a crowd, and it will be Golden State ball.
You know, Marv, not much is said about Golden State's defensive abilities as a team, but when you look at their 16-game totals so far, their opponents are shooting under 45% from the field. There's some kind of defense going on with this team, and they're looking tight now against the Knicks. Tight defensively, that is.
Sprewell for 3. Weber with the tip. And Weber gets to it. Weber off the fake. And now Campbell comes up with it as both Oakley and Weber hit the floor. It has been a bruising first quarter. Campbell with room. Weber unleashes for Owens. What a play. Beautiful outlet thrown by Chris Weber. Warriors lead 11-9. Weber has great hands. Huge hands. And very, very soft. Here's Campbell. Tony Campbell has tied the game at 11. Campbell had that diagnosed.
Oh, that's a fine play by Tony Campbell, following up that hoop.
Herb Williams. Nicely done. Charles Oakley spotting Herb Williams.
As impressive as this young team is here at Golden State, you know the Knicks players, veterans that they are, including Herb Williams, have to play against this team with great confidence. This is a young bunch of guys that the Knicks mentally should feel they can run through.
Knicks lead 13-11. Shot clock at 5. Again, a pretty pass, and Alexander at the receiving end.
Well, Oakley and Herb Williams standing there with their hands at their sides made that easy.
Game is tied at 13. Starks. Alexander with the rebound. Owens on the run. Leads Sprewell. Golden State not running as much as they did in the past. More of a controlled running style, but they will use every opportunity to push it down. Oakley giving the Knicks a 15-13 lead.
Well, with Billy Owens handling the ball as well as he does and Sprewell's speed, they can be explosive. This crowd, Marv, I feel is reacting much as the New York crowd does to the exciting play of the Knicks when they're running.
It counts. And the foul. Billy Owens will go to the line. Herb Williams called for the foul, and a timeout is taken.
The Rangers are at the Garden to battle the Buffalo Sabres after Sports Desk and Game Night, Monday at 7 here on MSG Network.
Louis knows soccer.
On the subject of injuries, the Golden State Warriors can certainly relate. Last season led the NBA, 312 man games missed due to injury. Mullen, Hardaway, Marciulionis, and Owens on the court for a total of only 2 minutes and 37 seconds together, all last season. Check this out. Mullen has missed 17 games. He will return, but Hardaway and Marciulionis are out the rest of the year. Tim Hardaway, knee ligament. He's out for the rest of the season. Marciulionis with a knee problem, also out the rest of the season. All right, here's Weber. Turns out to be a 4-point play for the Warriors, who now lead 17-15. Knicks stay the same following the timeout. Here comes Owens. Billy Owens picked up 2 early fouls. Billy Owens with a gorgeous move. And Williams with the rebound while sitting down. Try to lead the break. He did, but it's broken up. Beautiful ball movement. Owens is fouled by Williams.
Well, the youthful legs of the Golden State Warriors are inflicting quite a price now on the Knicks. They're beating them down court over and over again in mismatch situations. 3-on-2, 4-on-2. The Knicks have got to get back quicker.
See that number? They are the worst free throw shooting team in the league. And Billy Owens at 64%.
Let me show you how costly that is, Marv. The Golden State Warriors average 98 points a game. They score. Their opponents 97.5. How important is free throw shooting when you're losing games or you're outscoring your opponents by half a point?
Certainly the return of Chris Mullen will help the cause, but this is a very poor shooting team from the line. Starks for 3. And Weber again checked down court. He's ready to fire at all times. 5 minutes left in this first quarter. Owens. Weber. And it will count. Goaltending against the Knicks.
Well, it appears that Weber is just outworking people. Up quickly to the second shot before Tony Campbell could get involved in that play again. Weber's got to be boxed out. He's got to put a body on him.
He's such a quick leaper and also has the ability to go up a second and third time. That's very unusual. Herb Williams gets it back. Here's Rivers. Yes. 3-pointer for Doc Rivers. And the Knicks now trail 20-18. Anthony Mason getting set to check in for the first time. The Knicks needing help off the board. And Patrick Ewing making his way back. Here's Weber, blocked and tied up. Good play by Herb Williams. Patrick Ewing indicating to Pat Riley he's okay. And he is checking, getting set to check in. We were told that he's hyperextended his left knee, but appears to be all right.
Well, trip to the locker room, Marv, and you get a new knee. That's what happens these days. Advanced medicine.
I see. Williams and Weber. That's why Ewing could not come on, because Herb Williams involved in the jump. Alexander to the reverse. Victor Alexander has played well. Here are the early going. Warriors lead by 4. Rivers. Williams. Oakley.
Beautifully done. Herb Williams to Charles Oakley. As simple as it could be.
Golden State with a 2-point lead. Sprewell looking to use the pick. Well out of his range.
As we mentioned earlier in our open, Marv, the story is Weber has made 1 field goal this season outside of 6 feet from the basket.
Anthony Mason. It will be Nick ball now. Ewing returns. Replacing Williams. Herb Williams did a nice job coming on for Patrick Ewing. Mason up by Alexander. Sprewell also on a double team. And the foul is called. It's a hack charge to Alexander. Victor Alexander goes 6'9", about 270 pounds in his third year out of Iowa State. Started at center most of last season, averaging 11 points per game. Mostly from the outside, has a good touch. Even hit 10 3-point field goals last season.
Averaged 14 a game against the Knicks, so he played up based on his average against the rest of the league. Don Nelson continues his NBA search for a big-time center. And after all these years, he still hasn't found one.
But he likes Chris Webber as a dominating force inside, but not a true center. He can match up at times against opposition centers. Avery Johnson got the step.
Boy, he had a clear layup.
That was one of his problems with San Antonio. Not able to finish it off. 2.5 to go in this first quarter. Ewing. Oakley fouled. Alexander called for the personal. And a timeout taken by the Knicks. 2:19 left in the first.
Victor Alexander is third.
Last foul, sits down, his third, and he's replaced by Chris Gatling, a product of Elizabeth, New Jersey, in his third year out of Old Dominion. Pretty good shot blocker. Now here's a guy who worked with former Boston Celtics star Dave Cowens to try and improve his game. The connection there, Don Nelson, one-time Celtic and friend of Dave Cowens, trying to use that influence.
He had a pretty impressive rookie year, but then he slacked off last year and did not impress Coach Nelson with his off-season conditioning habits. Also, the Golden State Warriors play a passing game. That's clear, the way they move that ball around already in this game. That's the style they play, and Gatling is not known to be a good participant in a passing game.
The Knicks regain the lead, 24-22, as we come up on 2 minutes to go in this first quarter. Marv Albert with John Andres from the Oakland Coliseum.
2 minutes.
Owens. Gatling kept it alive, but Oakley came up with it. Rivers for Mason. Mason backing in. Owens playing with 2 fouls. Alexander sat down a moment ago after picking up his third. Nice fake by Ewing. And for Patrick Ewing, his first field goal. Knicks by 4.
See, there isn't enough bulk defensively to keep Ewing from that big first step that he got.
Webber sets the pick. Well, they double up on Johnson. Sprewell starts trying to draw the foul. Knicks have settled out off the boards. The other day they out-rebounded the Lakers 61-37. Intended for Ewing. Gatling led beautifully by Johnson.
Well, Patrick Ewing was on a coast in defensive transition, and Gatling just ran right by him, and Patrick didn't get the help on that play.
The Knicks lead 26-24. Time running out of this first quarter. Ewing lost it. It's a 4-on-1. Avery Johnson. And he has tied the game at 26 with a half-minute left in the first.
Successive turnovers by the Knicks turning into points. The Lakers got 25 points the other night off the Knicks' 22 turnovers.
Rivers with the spin. Oh, he beat Johnson. Oakley on the follow. What a move by Doc Rivers. Avery Johnson is still looking for him. Down to 10 seconds left in the quarter. Knicks have a 2-point lead.
Boy, is Mason playing Owens without the basketball, not allowing him to catch the ball.
Gatling. Whoa, whoa.
Well, Ewing had the big hand in his face. He took away Gatling's vision of the hoop.
That was high off glass. After one, it's the Knicks with a 2-point lead.
Priority mail. We deliver for you. And by Sharp Electronics Corporation. From sharp minds come sharp products.
All right, the Knicks making their way back onto the court for the second quarter. Patrick Ewing with that 29-point game the other night against the Los Angeles Lakers passed Walt Clyde Frazier in the Knicks all-time field goal leadership department. All-time leading scorers. Clyde about to be caught by Patrick Ewing. Foul thrown, Richie Guerin hanging in. Clyde took it well, though, we should point out.
Yes, his expression hasn't changed, Marv. These are sad moments.
His expression hasn't changed from, oh, nicely done, Owens for Weber. Clyde's expressions haven't changed since the 69-70 season. Still very cool under pressure. Greg Anthony has come on for the first time. Anthony for Rivers. So it's Starks and Anthony in the backcourt. Starks tried the three. And it's kicked out. Last cut by Mason. The Knicks and the Warriors are tied at 28. Hubert Davis will check in a moment. And Keith Jennings, the 5'7", 160-pound second-year man from East Tennessee State on the floor for the first time, matched with Anthony. So it's Jennings and Sprewell at the guard. Gatling again, wide open.
Knicks drowsing on defense. Gatling's a big guy. To be standing alone like that under the basket is inexcusable.
Golden State by 2. Starks for 3. Well, John Starks hammers one down. John Starks hit 2 of 4 from downtown. The other night against the Lakers, that snapped a string of 12 straight misses from long range. He's back on target. Knicks lead by 1.
Pat Riley just yelling out to Ewing, Marv, don't overhelp. That's why Gatling was wide open before.
Well, that went in. Had it not, it would have counted. Would have been a goaltend. So the basket counts.
Beautiful drive. Keith Jennings very impressive with that move at 5'7". Didn't let Ewing stop him.
And the Warriors lead by 1. Mason forced it. Thought he was fouled. Sprewell. Golden State leads by 3. Ewing now being played by Weber. Ewing fouled by Weber. Got him on the wrist. So Patrick Ewing will go to the line. Now Anthony Bonner gets set to come on.
44, Hubert Davis from the New York lineup.
There's Anthony Bonner. Played only 9 minutes the other night against the Lakers. Had a good game against his former team, the Sacramento Kings, Saturday at the Garden. Ewing 3 of 4 from the foul line.
You know, Marv, remarkably, in those 9 minutes that Bonner played the other night in L.A., he had 7 rebounds.
Anthony Bonner for number 34, Charles Oakley. 33, Patrick Ewing has
The
one
Knicks
shot
now
remaining.
with Bonner, Mason, and Ewing up front. Anthony and Davis in the backcourt.
Now, with Bonner and Mason out there, that means the Knicks forwards are not perimeter threats. So once again, there's a terrific amount of focus on the importance of Hubert Davis out there from the outside to help Patrick Ewing offensively.
And Hubert played well against the Lakers. 6 of 11, 12 points. Did the job Tuesday night. Sprewell being guarded by Davis. Shot clock at 3. Here's Gatling, very active. Owens on the kick. Warriors lead 36-32.
Well, this young Warriors team is working very hard with great success under their offensive boards.
Nice move. Davis with a feathery move, driving the lane. And the Knicks are down by 2. Can you imagine how strong this Warrior team would be? Foul on Davis. With Tim Hardaway, Chris Muller, Sarunas, Marciulionis added to this particular group. You're looking at a contending team, even without the true dominating center.
This team has won 6 of their last 7 games at Golden State, so you've got talent showing here that will be coming off the bench when those players come back, Marv, equaling great depth for the Golden State Warriors.
But there's a question. You never know how guys come back following a knee injury. Both Hardaway and Marciulionis will be out for the rest of the season. Pushing foul against the Knicks. It's on Ewing, his first.
Second team foul, the Knicks in the period.
Chris Mullen hoping to get back soon. Torn ligament in his right hand and then hit with acute tendonitis in his right shin. So that put a little damper on his return.
Well, Chris, with his typical work habits, put himself in that bad position with the hard work that he went through to get back. He just would not stop working out, so much so that he injured his shin. And that whole situation got away from the trainer, one would assume, of Golden State. So that set back Chris a short time more. It doesn't look like it'll be more than 2 weeks, as what reports are from here now, but it was hoped that he'd be back this weekend.
Illegal defense called against the Knicks. And then on the inbound, Sprewell able to hit to give Golden State a 38-34 lead. 9 points for Sprewell. He's the high man for the Warriors. Oakley leading the Knicks with 10. Mason backing Gatling. Mason on the recovery. Strong move by Anthony Mason. And the Knicks are down by 2. Offensive foul on Weber. He was intent on going to the hoop, and it cost.
How strong is Weber to send Mason flying like that? Weber coming now, spinning around, pushing that 260 pounds into Anthony Mason, sending him flying. That's a rare sight. Well, on the subject of Chris Mullen, the reason they put a cast on him was to stop him from working out. That was as part of the reason as any. Not that he really needed a cast, but they wanted him to stop working out as much.
Owens lost it. It will be Nick Ball. Now Victor Alexander will check back in. He'll play with 3 fouls. And Chris Webber sits down. Chris Webber, 6 points, 9 rebounds. Taking a lot of shots. Most have been tips. Follows 3 of 11 from the field. Look out, Ewing double team. Here is Anthony for 3. Well, that will help the head of Greg Anthony as he converts on a 3-pointer. And the Knicks lead by 1.
Well, Greg broke out with some good contributions the other night in Los Angeles. And it's nice to see him confidently shoot that ball.
Greg Anthony was really down in the dumps psychologically following the game against Houston. After the game the other night, said he was ready to give up basketball. Of course, he was really depressed about things. Talked about buying a little farm up in Rhode Island, perhaps going to the teaching profession. Patrick Ewing. giving the Knicks a 41-38 lead. But as you say, some good signs the other night. Had that big steal, which helped turn the game around with the Lakers coming back. And the Knicks are just hoping. Here's Jennings from deep, hoping that Greg Anthony can start hitting some shots. It's really as simple as that to get the confidence back. He was down at 28% from the field at one point. Mason drills it home, and the Knicks in the midst of a good stretch. Lead by 5. Warriors call for time with 6:08 left, first half.
Protect your car.
Two and a half games behind the Knicks, record of 9-7. Shaquille O'Neal, 49 points. That is an NBA high. Patrick Ewing had 44 against Cleveland in that overtime game earlier in the season. David Robinson had a 43-point game against Minnesota back in early November. The Knicks lead by 5. Just under 6 minutes to go in this first half. Off the steal by Bonner. Here's Anthony going all the way, and it's tipped home. The Knicks crashing the board. And Pat Riley screaming for the Knicks to get back on transition. Charles Oakley with that tip. He now has 12. Sprewell got the step. It counts, and the foul. Nice move by Sprewell. Foul by Davis.
Boy, that's a man creating his own move, his own shot. Sprewell with that speed. Getting the ball, greeted by Hubert Davis. Just fires by Davis and then handles anybody else who comes in his way. Sprewell showing those one-on-one skills.
And he's one of the better foul shooters on this 4 free throw shooting team. 77% from the line for Sprewell. 3-point play, and the Knicks now lead 45-41.
Charles Oakley with that last field goal, giving him 12 points for the game. He had 10 in the first quarter, along with 6 rebounds in the first quarter.
And Bonner rejected. Crowd wanted an offensive foul on Bonner. A lot of contact off that move. Knicks have 10 on the 24. Oakley, Mason, Bonner up front. Patrick Ewing getting a rest. Here's Anthony again showing confidence, firing the 3. Mason with the rebound. Davis. And Bonner with the tip. Sprewell for Weber. Oh, what a move by Weber. And a foul is called. It's a blocking foul.
Number 14.
It's on Mason. We talked earlier about the enormous hands by Weber. It fakes the behind-the-back move. Just a beautiful play by Chris Weber.
And he cups that ball so well with the strong hands. They're not only large, Mark, but as you said, they're good hands, meaning when that ball is in the grip of his hands, it doesn't come out easily. And he's distinguished himself early in his career with those hands.
Chris Weber, first sophomore selected as the #1 pick in the NBA draft since Magic Johnson, first player in history to make the NCAA All-Tournament team as a freshman and as a sophomore. Right now, though, his offense is raw, as is his free throw shooting. He seems to lack a money move and somewhat awkward around the basket, but still similar to Shaquille O'Neal. Oh, nice play. Oh, beating Bonner, similar to Shaquille O'Neal, who is a guy who scored 49 points tonight, but is still raw in many phases of the game offensively. But you know that Chris Weber is going to be a major star. Anthony, he had the room but blew the layup. Weber leads the break behind the back for Sprewell. Byron Houston on the floor for the first time. And Owens tripped up. Mason called for the foul.
Number 14, Anthony Mason, second personal foul.
John Starks returns, replacing Hubert Davis. Hubert 1 of 3, 2 points. Technical foul has been called.
Pointed at Anthony Mason.
Foul has been called on New York's number 14.
Anthony Mason hit with the tee. He has been collecting them recently.
He certainly has a quiet way about him, except he seems to get through to officials rather easily with his vocal play.
And Jennings, who is a good free throw shooter, missed the technical. Mason will sit down. Oakley, Ewing, and Bonner now on the front line. Starks and Anthony in the backcourt. Now Billy Owens will shoot a couple.
1 plus for penalty, 2 shots.
Billy Owens making it back from a major knee injury last season, missed 45 games with an injured left knee.
One of the most impressive parts of Billy Owens' game is his assists, averaging 4.5 a game to go with this 15 points and 10 rebounds when you round it out. I mean, those are very impressive numbers. And Don Nelson told me before the game we are running the game through Billy Owens more and more, evidenced by his assists. So they're looking to him to make decisions with the ball more.
Don Nelson loves that kind of player. Power point forward, power point center.
When you look at that team out there now, Marv, it's a very small NBA lineup Don Nelson has out there.
Illegal defense again on the Knicks. Second violation, technical foul, and Sprewell will shoot it. At times, Billy Owens has shown to be the closest thing to Magic Johnson in terms of the way he handles the ball. I'd say, well, the last 10 years, and we're talking about a guy who's 6'9", 225 pounds. Owens.
Nice play by Ewing coming over that pick.
Game is tied at 45. 3:45 left in the half. Good delivery by Anthony, and Ewing drew the foul. Foul committed by Weber.
Ewing showing Anthony his appreciation for that quick pass in. Ewing was allowed to set up very low. And when he got the ball, he went right up. He didn't bother faking or putting it on the floor. Just gets the ball from Greg Anthony on a nice bounce pass. Very catchable, a bounce pass to the big man. That's the way centers like that ball delivered. Also makes it harder for the defense to reach around the big man down low when the ball comes in off the bounce. If it comes in straight, they can put that hand in at waist level and knock it away.
Chris Gatling returns for number 4, Chris Weber.
A call made by Sean Corbin, a rookie official out of the SEC. Also worked some games in the CBA. I know Madison Square Garden Network had made that suggestion to you, John, that perhaps you could split between the CBA and work with New York Knicks.
We're negotiating, Mark.
Not to make light of the CBA, a solid league, but I think you could use the extra work. And on the turnover, it will be Nick Ball.
If you come with me, Marv, I'll give it a shot.
You got it. I'd love to, but I have a game.
Where have I heard that before?
Knicks with a 47-45 lead as we come up on 3 minutes remaining in this first half. And a 3-second violation called on Patrick Ewing.
3-second violation.
Coaching staff diligently writing down those infractions. Jeff Van Gundy, Dick Carter, they write down everything. Gives Pat Riley something to do between games, Marv, analyze those numbers.
Sprewell for 3. Here's Houston. Run down by Gatling. Jennings for 3. The 5'7" Keith Jennings. He's shooting 32% from downtown. Warriors lead by 1. Whoa, look out. Oakley went flying. The steal by Houston. Gatling. Oh, he went down. Gatling is shaken up. Starks putting the move on Houston, and they both go down. Foul called on Houston. Things are getting rough. And And at each end of the court, the Warriors with an injured player. Look at this. We have Byron Houston and Chris Gatling simultaneously at each baseline injured.
If this is going to happen to any team in the NBA, you would figure it would happen to the Golden State Warriors.
Timeout called. We'll be back in a moment.
Nobody beats the Whiz Jets Journal after Sports Day, Friday at 7 on...
Well, St. John's Redmond College basketball return to Nassau Coliseum Saturday, December 18th as Lipton Original Iced Tea presents the 1993 ECAC Metro New York Basketball Challenge. St. John's versus Fordham and Hofstra versus Manhattan highlights this exciting day of college basketball, beginning at 11 a.m. with the final game at 6:30 p.m. Tickets available at the Coliseum box office and through Ticketmaster. Price at $12.50 and $7 for all 4 games. Sponsored by Lipton Original Iced Tea. This ain't no sipping tea. This ain't no ordinary basketball. Don't miss it.
Why do I shop Hempstead Harley? Hempstead Harley Davidson has it all. Leathers, denim, to genuine Harley boots, even accessories. And when I want a Harley, my pal Richie gives me the best deal. For parts and service, Marty, he's the greatest. I love to look good. They make me look great. Hempstead Harley Davidson.
#1 in sales, #1 in service.
Come on, guys.
Burns is
Slipping on the floor, obviously a wet spot, and he got hurt. At the other end of the floor, Houston, in the same sequence, Houston gets clobbered by John Starks, hits the floor. Starks falls on that leg of Houston. You can be very strong in the upper body, but if somebody falls on your leg, you're as vulnerable as anyone. Gatling has bounced back. Houston limped off the court.
Byron Houston, 6'5", about 255 pounds. Mentioned the big body. You know, he was originally listed in some quarters when he was at Oklahoma State. Talk about stretching in terms of height. He was listed at 6'9", and he's 6'5". Something you might try to pull off as you look at the collision once again. Well, 6'9", he said he was when he's about 6'5".
Well, with that body strength, Marv, he played at 6'9", with those college bodies bouncing off him, and a lot of people believed him, and he did pretty well with a nice contract.
Well, Oklahoma State at the time did not get the national exposure, so hey, why don't you say I'm 7'2" while you're at it. Game tied at 48, 2 minutes remaining first half. The lead for Ewing.
Patrick frustrated by his inability to hold that ball.
Jennings now operating at the point guard position. Jennings and Sprewell in the backcourt. Alexander, Gatling, and Owens up front. Jennings tried the change of direction. 5 of the 24. Rivers trying to draw the foul on Sprewell, and Ewing with the rebound. Rivers pushes it down. Nice lead from Oakley. Well done. Knicks pushing the ball down effectively.
The important about a part of a play like that, Marv, is that Oakley ran as well as he did to be in the position he was to get that ball and do with it what he did.
The Knicks 50 and Golden State 48. It's been an excellent first half. Jennings forced away by Rivers. Alexander way off. Ewing getting ahead of the field, but Starks shook him off. Alexander got back. Here's Starks all the way. Yes, and it counts. John Starks with the drive, and he will go to the line. He was fouled by Alexander, and that is 4 on Victor Alexander.
Well, John Starks sensing an opening, and he knows instinctively that this team doesn't block shots very much. And the Knicks have been taking advantage of that and driving that ball. John Starks signaling that's good as he follows it in after letting it go.
Victor Alexander.
Alexander sitting down. Last season, John Starks, who began his NBA career with the Golden State Warriors, averaged 28.5 per game. He had a brief shot with Golden State. John, as you might put it, the numbers game caught up to John Starks, who would fit in very well with this ball club, as it turns out.
Anthony Mason and John Stark showing what persistence and hard work can do.
The Knicks open up a 5-point lead. Been close throughout. They've led by as many as 7. One stretch, Golden State led by 5. Jennings bottled up by Rivers. Shot clock down to 3. Gatling off the mark. Davis gets to it along with Starks. That'll be the smallest backcourt of the NBA on the floor right here for Golden State. Gatling on the intercept. Ewing recaptures. Get Keith Jennings at 5'7" and Avery Johnson at about 5'10".
As I recall, Jennings' job is to stop Ewing.
Yes.
Based on prediction before the game as to what Nelson might do to handle Ewing.
Here's Sprewell for 3. And with 0.5 of a second remaining in the half, John Starks called for a hack. Not a foul you want to pick up, but in the heat of the action, John Starks called for that foul with 0.5 of a second remaining, and Billy Owens to the line. He's 2 for 5 from the line. Only a 54% free throw shooter.
Number 35, Jud Bushler. And number 2, Keith Jennings.
Jud Bushler making his first appearance. And Keith Jennings sits down.
Knicks will greet the Warriors with a 3/4 court shot to end the half now, undoubtedly.
5-point Knick lead, and they are not able to get it off.
At the half, 55-50.
So at the half, the Knicks lead by 5 here at the Oakland Coliseum. Coming up, Mike Crispino at the MSG Sports Desk. We'll be back in a moment. At the Oakland Coliseum, and the Knicks lead the Golden State Warriors 55-50. The high point men for the Warriors, Latrell Sprewell with 13. For the Knicks, 12 apiece for Patrick Ewing and Charles Oakley. Now to bring you up to date on what is going on elsewhere, let's go to New York for Mike Crispino.
All right, thanks very much, Marv. The Houston Rockets continue to roll on. Seattle and Houston, as a matter of fact, have established themselves as the superior teams in the NBA this year. At the Summit tonight, it took overtime, but they got the job done against the Miami Heat. 115-109 was the final. They were down by 6 late in this game. Great defense throughout. A couple of block shots by Hakeem and Horry, and then Robert Horry keys a fast break after Glenn Rice missed. Rice had 40 on the night. Otis Thorpe finished it off right there in the second quarter. Vernon Maxwell driving and then dishing to Hakeem. The patented fadeaway. He had 28 points. And when Miami continued to turn it over, Houston made hay. Here's Cycley's outlet. Intercepted, slammed down by Mario Elliott, a New York native. 115-109. It took them overtime, but Houston wins again. Just one loss on the season. Early marquee matchup in the Big East, the battle of unbeatens at Syracuse. It was a mismatch. Boston College, 75-58 over Syracuse, led by as many as 18 in the first half. The Dome Ranger, full-blown regale tonight. Cuse was 4-0, ranked 13th in the country, but Howard Isley was red hot, had 22 points, a 20-6 lead for Jim O'Brien and company. That ballooned to 24-6. No time left. First half, Luke Jackson hits a 3 to cut it to 4, however. Second half, Bill Curley. Eagles went to work. Danya Abrams, Tarrytown, New York, last year's New York Mr. Basketball, feeds Curley, who had 21. BC is 5-0, 75-58 the win tonight. Yankee GM Gene Michael finally found a sucker to take a few $1 million off his payroll. They traded the shortstop and free agent bust Spike Owens to the Angels for career minor league right-hand reliever Jose Music. Yankees didn't clear enough money, however, to get after the other left-hander, the other pitcher they were interested in. Randy Johnson has signed with Seattle 4 years, $20 million. Back with more in a moment.
Sports Desk is brought to you by LA Tech Light Gear. You got to own the light if you want to own the night.
Half a minute, millions of people will be focused on me. Hey, I want to look every bit the professional sports.
To practice for the second straight day. He is also doubtful, and Coach Dan Reeves has said that linebacker Michael Brooks is doubtful for the remainder of the regular season because of foot problems. The Jets spent the day preparing for a Saturday game in Washington, which could be their season. Ronnie Lott knows all about playoff runs and the mindset required for success.
You don't even have to look at another team's record. You have to just look at yourself and say, hey, look, can we get better? Can I play better? And I think that was the thing that was unfortunate, is that we have been saying that to ourselves every week, is how we're going to find a way to get better. And I think last week, I don't know if we were able to really sit there and I don't know if we sit there and played our best game.
Serious soul searching going on with the Jets right now. We'll be back with more after these messages.
Okay.
Able to bounce back and make his return. John Starks with 11 points. A look at the Golden State scoring. The high point man is Latrell Sprewell. Although only 4 of 12, he has 13 points. Billy Owens with 12. Billy Owens with 2 fouls. Chris Webber has 3, and Victor Alexander has 4. So Golden State with some foul difficulty. A well-played, bruising first half of basketball.
Yes, the Knicks did a good job defensively in that Golden State didn't shoot the ball very well, and they battled them very tough on the boards too, Marv. Charles Oakley, by the way, I thought had an outstanding first half, and if you pay attention to the numbers, you'll agree with me.
Well, John, I've taken some time during the course of halftime to put together some highlights. I'd like to show them to you with the help of the staff. A look at the halftime highlights brought to you by Minolta, makers of the new Freedom 105 EX, only from the mind of Minolta.
Second-year player for Golden State, Latrell Sprewell. The Knicks knew he would be a tough one to handle, and he showed John Starks how he could handle it. Being stopped at the baseline, Sprewell had another move for John. Billy Owens, you'll see on this nice pass from Wes Unseld days, two-handed pitch-out pass. Billy Owens driving layup early in the game for Owens. Knicks concentrating more and more on ball movement. Patrick Ewing greeting rookie Chris Webber. Webber kind of observing Ewing at work. Half goes for that fake, giving Patrick the room to do what he wanted to do. And the man I was talking about, Marv, a moment ago, Charles Oakley, with a big first half. A lot of it is because of moves like this he made around the basket, collecting opportunities and making the most of them, as Charles did with his 5 offensive rebounds in the first half.
We'll be back with the second half in a moment. The Knicks have a 5-point lead.
St. John's battles Colgate in the semis of the Joe Lapchick Tournament, live from the Garden, Saturday afternoon at 4 here on MSG Network.
If you're a sports fan, we've got the place for you, the Baja. Yes, the Baja, with a state-of-the-art satellite system for every game in the country. Where else can you play a round of golf and watch the big game? Or test your batting skills with laser ball, the greatest fast-pitch batting cages anywhere. If that's not enough, we've got modified softball, art softball, Little League baseball, a game room, and more. So if you like sports, you'll love the Baja. The Baja Country Club, 12 South Denton Avenue, New Hyde Park, just south of Jericho Turnpike.
If you want to lease a Ford, buy a Ford, or service a Ford, you cannot do better than Able Ford of Rockville Center, your super-friendly Ford store, and a whole lot more. At Able of Rockville Center, you can always feel confident you're getting the very best deals and the very best service on Ford cars or trucks.
Able Ford of Rockville Center, your super-friendly Ford store, and a whole lot more.
One 1-800-626-RIDE. That's 1-800-626-RIDE to get our valuable coupon book. When you want to go to the Garden, New Jersey Transit is the way to go.
New York Knicks basketball is brought to you in part by the Discover Card. It pays to discover the card that pays you back. By MetLife. Get Met, it pays. And by Gillette Sensor and the new Gillette Series. Gillette, the best a man can get.
Back in Oakland, Marv Albert, John Andres, the Knicks with a 55-50 lead on the Golden State Warriors, and this the first of two meetings this season between the Knicks and Golden State. Knicks 20 of 41 from the field in the first half, 49%. Golden State only 40% on 20 out of 50. And Golden State with the slight edge off the boards.
Charles Oakley did his job, though, with 9 rebounds in all, 5 of them, as I mentioned, offensive rebounds. Weber, an impressive 10 himself. 3-point field goals. The Knicks getting back into that picture more and more now with 3. Patrick Ewing happy he shook off that slam. He hit his knee on the floor in the first half, which kept him out for a little while, but he bounced back well.
So Billy Owens handles as the Warriors move to the front court and the second half gets underway. Owens guarded by Campbell. Here is Sprewell. Alexander gets to it. Sprewell is fouled. He's pushed. So latrell Sprewell will go to the line.
Now, Marv, one of the things you know the Knicks coaching staff is focusing on, and I'm sure Pat Riley dealt with it at halftime, is the third quarter blues that the Knicks have had in the last 2 games. You know, he wants his team to come out strong here in the third quarter and erase the memory of 12 points scored against Utah the other night and 10 points scored against the Lakers in the third quarter of each game.
Yes, Tuesday night, the Knicks had that 20-point lead early third quarter. They died in the third. Lakers at one point moved within 2. The Knicks shot 3 of 18 in the third quarter at the Forum, and they were held scoreless for a stretch of a shade over 6 minutes. 55-51. The Knicks with the lead. They've led by as many as 7. Here's some pressure by Golden State. Off the steal. Avery Johnson setting up. Pass intended for Owens. The Knicks starting out with Ewing, Oakley, and Campbell up front. Rivers and Starks in the backcourt.
Tony Campbell got a short run in the first half, only 8 minutes of play, but made 2 of his 3 shots.
Sprewell with the steal.
John Stark telegraphed that long pass from the deep corner intended for Rivers.
Ewing. Campbell kept it alive. Oakley chases down and fires out to Rivers. The Knicks lead by 2. Knicks come in at 11-4. This is the finale of the 3-game road trip. Stark's way off. Weber trying to go behind the back, and that cost. Oakley blew the layup, but Starks is there. Well, Chris Weber is a very good ball handler for a guy who's 6'10", but that time in traffic went behind the back, and it hurt. Foul being called down low by Greg Willard. It's on Starks. It's a hold.
The difficulty for the defense of the Knicks in playing this Golden State team is the one-on-one defense that all the Knicks have to play, because so much of the action is outside. The offense essentially for Golden State starts away from the basket, which means you have to position yourself in front of your man and play honest man-to-man defense. You can't get too much help.
Look out. Ewing deflected it out. Oakley tried to save it. And Golden State will maintain possession. Report on Byron Houston, who went down in a collision late in the first half. Hyperextended left knee, but he might be able to return. Patrick Ewing suffering a hyperextended left knee, did come back. Starks with the steal. He stripped Sprewell. The Knicks with the ball and a 4-point lead. Rivers back out for Starks. That's a three-pointer for John Starks. And for John, his second from downtown tonight. Knicks have hit 4. Rivers with 1. Anthony with 1. For Greg Anthony, only a second three-pointer of the season.
Nice look by Doc Rivers, finding Starks in good position.
Foul committed by Campbell, holding foul. And the Knicks very quickly have picked up 3 team fouls. Golden State comes off a win Tuesday against Denver. They won 2 in a row, 6 of the last 7. Record of 9-7. Campbell knocked it away. Oakley got a piece of it, chased out and recovered by Weber. He leads Sprewell. Beautifully done. Good look by Chris Weber. The Knicks by 5.
Campbell wants to post Sprewell, but the Knicks don't seem to understand what he wants to do.
Oakley from deep. Campbell with the rebound. Tony Campbell getting position, and he continues to play well. That's his 3rd bucket. He has 6. The Knicks 62 and Golden State 55. I would think that Tony, though, did watch his watch what he ate earlier today after the experience in Los Angeles. Last touch by the Knicks. Came down with food poisoning, but able to hang in and played well against the Lakers the other night.
Yes, Marv, you could say Tony had a light lunch.
Yes, he did. Johnson trying to work his way through. Won't count. Foul for 4. No shot. It's on Rivers. And that is team foul number 4 committed by the Knicks.
Fourth team foul of the period.
John Starks playing with 3 fouls. Victor Alexander of Golden State playing with 4. And that is an offensive foul.
Offensive foul, number 4, Chris Weber.
It's on Weber.
Personal foul.
Weber using those hands and setting a pick. Got him in trouble.
And he has picked up his 4th. Rivers. He was pushed by Johnson. So Doc Rivers will go to the line.
Avery Johnson for his personal first team.
Knicks 12 of 15. Warriors continue to struggle. At the line, they are at the bottom in free throw shooting in the league at 68%. Earlier tonight, Indiana beat Orlando 111-105 despite 49 points. for Shaquille O'Neal, which is a high for the NBA this season. So Orlando now 2.5 behind the Knicks. Starks able to keep it alive. Here's Campbell with the post up. Oh, what a fake. Tony Campbell playing his best ball of the season, getting the opportunity and certainly taking advantage.
Well, that was Chris Webber that time, not latrell Sprewell as it was last time. And that left hand is right on for Tony.
The Knicks have opened up their biggest lead of the night. It's a 10-point margin. 5 minutes gone by in the third. Webber from Johnson, rejected by Ewing. Rivers on a 4-on-1. The feed for Campbell broken up. But Sprewell could not hold on, so the Knicks will throw it in.
The look-away pass by Rivers was off target.
And Byron Houston makes his return.
Looks like George Foreman, doesn't he?
Yes.
In many ways.
Yes, there is that resemblance. Very good, John. Starks stopped. He thought he was fouled. 3-on-2, and it does not work.
Timeout, Warriors.
Timeout is called. 6:49 remaining in the third.
Brought to you by Reebok.
AT&T is prepared to state.
That is not often seen in New York. America's premier all-night sports talk show host, Steve Summers, in a rare television appearance.
Yes, and obviously the two of you getting very desperate.
No question.
To have me on, and of course he alludes, does he not, John, to having a face built for radio.
You know, let's see, Steve, you would be schmoozing about this time in New York.
You know, this is one of the few times I've seen the Knickerbockers with my clothes on. Usually I'm in
Hey.
Usually I'm in my robe on my couch watching. Take it away, Mark.
All right, Owens try to lead the break. 6:25 remaining in the third quarter, and the Knicks with a 10-point lead. Jeff Grayer has come on for the first time. And an illegal defense has been called for the third time against the Knicks. So again, Golden State to the line.
Marv, obviously, Steve playing the game of the new radio style these days. You have to calm him down now.
Well, you know, I'll tell you something. I can tell you in about 25 words or less my entire play-by-play career at this very here table where you two guys are sitting about 25 years ago at halftime of a Warriors game. Did the public address announcing for a Warrior girls basketball game, the beginning and the end of my play-by-play career.
Yes. You know, a couple of people mentioned that to me earlier. Steve, what brings you to the Bay Area?
Well, Marv, a couple of times a year I come out if I can to see my parents and see some friends, and they're all married. Their wives have me over for dinner. You can't pass up the free meals.
Owens got bottled up, and Campbell with the steal. Oakley fires across court. Knicks swinging the ball around very effectively.
Looks like an infield, Marv.
Yes. However, Rivers' pass broken up. Oakley recovers. And Rivers feeds Ewing. Avery Johnson gets to it. Johnson for Owens. Wild end-to-end basketball. The Knicks now lead by 7.
Steve, in your years out in San Francisco, has the crowd's always been this alive, or do they like this team especially?
Pretty much so, John, because there's not a lot else to do in Oakland, California, unless you're into toxic waste. They love to come to the Coliseum Arena here and watch the Warriors. And there's not much to watch this year. Really, is this not like a CBA team? I'm asking.
No,
wait on
I disagree with you. First of all, they're 9-7. They've won 6 of the last 7.
Yeah.
And when you consider the injuries,
they played very well. Yeah, that is true. But they have a couple of guys on the team 5'2", 5'1". Very short, Mark.
Well, Keith Jennings, not a bad ball player.
What is he, about 5'6"?
5'5". You could take it. Yeah, 5'3", 5'7". And a traveling violation is called.
Tony Campbell had a lot of success here in the third quarter underneath, but he Tells the official he got pushed.
And a technical foul called. That's the rookie official, Sean Corbin, calling the tee. It's on Campbell, who felt he was fouled on that play.
Well, a combination of that losing his balance.
If I may ask, Marvin, John, any residual effect do you feel with Ewing and his knee?
I thought you were going to ask for a residual check for this appearance.
Well, I
would
was
use
told
that
I
word.
would get one. Yes. But do you think that there will be any everlasting or after effects because of this spill earlier in the
hard, you know, with injuries, it's always difficult to say. Patrick's taken only 7 shots, 3 of 7, 12 points. Played well, it's been low-key, but with injuries, who knows? And the foul call, it counts. Well, the Warriors, in the midst of a good spurt.
The foul is being called out front here. That's where this right now is the foul. Very exciting move, though, by Avery Johnson. Rivers grabbing him early. Johnson manages to fight through that hold by Rivers and make an exciting move, and the crowd loved it.
So the basket does not count. It changed the call, but the Knicks are over the foul limit. So Avery Johnson will go to the line. Steve, we were saying before, can you imagine this club with Tim Hardaway and Chris Mullin and Sharunas Marciulionis? I think they'd be a championship contender.
Yeah, they probably would, Marv, and Charles Barkley would then probably mean that the Knickerbockers, instead of being the 4th best team in the Western Conference, maybe he would mean the 5th best team.
Because Charles has made that point several times.
So have I, because I have nothing else to add lib.
Marv, it's still hard to believe, following your statement about them being a contender without a solid big man. Not a great one. It's hard to believe that they would be in the final round.
Starks hits the 3. Well, I think they'd be when I say contender, that they certainly could have a long life in the playoffs. I don't know if they go to the championship, but...
I'll buy that.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're schmoozing with Steve and John here. Steve Summers from WFAN Radio joining us. Whoa, shot by Weber.
The crowd loves this guy, doesn't it? Don't they, Steve?
Only 20 years old.
Youngest player in the NBA.
And the Knicks now lead by 6. Ed Rush with the call away from the ball. It's called on Owens with Campbell going down. Anthony Mason will check in.
Chris Webber at 6'10", responding to that move by Tony Campbell rather well.
Steve, following this hiatus, you'll be back on the air in New York when?
December 19/20.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice, very nice vacation.
Will you guys be listening?
Absolutely.
Oh, that's nice. Thanks for having me.
And who's sitting in tonight?
Bill Dortchman.
All right, Starks for 3. Yes. John Starks with another 3-pointer, and the Knicks lead 71-62. So Bill Daughtry making the move from his updating duties after a nationwide talent search to replace you all night. Johnson off the mark, and a loose ball foul call. It's called on Weber. Timeout is being called, and Steve, we thank you so much for stopping by. They just took his microphone away. Okay. Steve, thank you. We'll be right back.
Shipping a package to Omaha? That's child's play. Worldwide shipping demands people with local know-how. DHL.
If you're a sports fan, we've got the place for you, the Baja. Yes, the Baja, with a state-of-the-art satellite system for every game in the country. Where else can you play a round of golf and watch the big game? Or test your batting skills with laser ball, the greatest fast-pitch batting cages anywhere. If that's not enough, we've got modified softball, art softball, Little League baseball, a game room, and more. So if you like sports, you'll love the Baja. The Baja Country Club, 12 South Denton Avenue, New Hyde Park, just south of Jericho Turnpike.
At Meenan, we deliver an extra degree.
Getting the hops here. Ewing with the drop step. Rebounded by Houston. Coming up on 2 minutes left in the third. Knicks have a 9-point lead. Johnson lost his balance.
A lot of slipping going on here tonight.
Sprewell.
2 minutes.
And Oakley gets to it. Look out. Oh, Starks goes into the official scores area. And the white ball. Officials confirm. And you heard the call of white ball, last touched by the Knicks.
52, Mr. Alexander returns to number 21, Byron Houston.
Fearless play of John Starks as Mason can't control a sparing pass.
Whoa.
Starks congratulating the official, hoping he'd get a call go his way.
Now Greg Anthony comes on for the first time in the second half. Played 10 minutes in the first half and hit from three-point range. Owens couldn't use the pick and then shoots. Ewing with the box out. Starks and Johnson battle for it. A timeout called by Starks. Tremendous play by John Starks, who took a shot in the nose. John Starks coming off another broken nose.
He has not used the protective mask the last 2 games, despite having the broken nose. And this is the first time he has shown the effects of that. John giving off pain there as he calls timeout. And the official fortunately picked it up. John showing that his nose is bothering him a bit after that play.
20-second timeout. And John, as you mentioned, this is a very slippery floor. Guys are going flying. We saw that in the first half. It's continued here.
No, if you're going to break something, Marv, just a word of advice to you for the future, break your nose. Because you can carry on, you know, nothing seems to change with a broken nose.
Doesn't affect your typing, that's true.
That's true, right. Or your jump shot.
Exactly. Substitution for the Warriors, Josh Grant, a rookie from the University of Utah, second-round draft pick of Denver, and they traded him to Golden State, getting set to come on. I'll tell you a story about Josh Grant in a moment, involving brother Steve, who broadcasts the Golden State Warriors games. He was out of bounds. Alexander stepped out as Grant checks in.
Number 30, Billy Owens.
The other day for the Golden State pregame show, Steve went to Josh Grant's house to do an interview. Josh's wife wouldn't let him in the house because she was doing a little cleaning. They had to, there's young Steve, they had to do the interview outside in the rain.
Did Steve's budget allow him to call ahead to
I understand
coming?
Josh and the wife are not talking. It really led to problems. And they brought an umbrella out, and they used the umbrella for the camera.
That's the difference with you and Steve, Marv, you know? 2 brothers, but I don't think you would have done the interview in the rain.
Oh, absolutely.
Easy to get along with. Easy-going guy, Steve Albert is. You can tell just by looking at him. He's a swell guy.
I would have forced my way into the house.
You would have pouted.
All right, it's enough. We've seen him. A minute remaining in the third quarter, and the Knicks lead 71-62. Davis rebounded by Sprewell, taking contact as he came up with the ball. This is Grant. Alexander, played by Starks, on a switch. Shoots over him. Look out, Oakley hits the floor. Grant comes up with it. Nice look.
Everybody's slipping at this end.
Starks. Sprewell starts back. Knicks by 7, 20 seconds to go. In the quarter, Don Nelson says hold for a last shot. Down to 10 seconds. buzzer.
Good work ethic here shown by Golden State, competing, staying with that basketball. Alexander finishing it nicely and getting the foul on his way to a three-point play. The pain etched on the face of Don Nelson as usual during a game.
Oakley called for a foul, his third. They have just put 0.3 of a second back on the clock. Alexander to the line. He is only a 51% foul shooter. And time has run out. After 3, the Knicks leading the Golden State Warriors 71-66.
Introducing your Toyota.
Say he's handled all the timeout jokes extremely well as we flash back to April of '93. Michigan down by 2 at the time. He called a timeout, although Michigan did not have any timeouts remaining. This is the final seconds of the NCAA finals against North Carolina, but he has handled it with humor. In fact, he has started a foundation for youngsters in Detroit, and he has called it timeout.
Also reflecting timeout on his license plate of his automobile. He got good advice, and he, with good instincts, handled it very well, Marvin. Treating it as what was a crashing feeling to him very, very well with humor.
Instead of Coach Don Nelson tells me to call a timeout, I'm going to pass it, and Chris Mullen, let him call it.
Excuse me, could you tell me how to get to Bakersville?
Sure. Take 23 north, the M34 east, the I-14 south, and you're there.
Thanks.
You bet.
Excuse me, can you tell me how to get to Bakersville?
Head right over those mountains.
Thanks.
There's only one Jeep, and it's only at your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealers.
Giving pizza.
See this man in his lineup, the way John Starks plays the game.
John Starks has hit 4 from downtown, 4 out of 7.
Take a look at our Delta upcoming schedule now. The Knicks go home tomorrow morning real early for the Pacers Saturday night. Knicks game night 7 p.m. Then Tuesday the Nuggets, Thursday the Lakers. Knicks game night 7 p.m. Saturday, Tuesday, and Thursday.
Josh Grant remaining on the floor and handling it. Keith Jennings. And Grant for 3. Rebound Alexander. Strong move by Victor Alexander, is playing with the 5 fouls. He has 10 points. The Knicks lead is down to 4. They've led by as many as 10. So tonight the Knicks did come through with a strong third quarter. And now trying to hold on to this lead here in the fourth. Mason with a nice fadeaway shot. Anthony Mason with 8 points. The Knicks 74 and the Warriors 68.
17-point third quarter for the Knicks.
Off the steal. However, for the Warriors, a 16-point third quarter. Hubert Davis with the gorgeous stroke. The Knicks lead 77-68.
Well, Pat Riley matching the Golden State going small lineup out there now. No Herb Williams, no Patrick Ewing.
Ewing getting set to return. He's over at the scorer's table. Sprewell. Grant lost it. Recovered by Grayer. Jennings on the penetration. Alexander. Alexander has hurt the Knicks. 12 points, 7 rebounds. for the 6'9" Victor Alexander is hanging in despite the 5 fouls. The Knicks lead is 7. Knicks staying with the 3 guards.
Greg Anthony directing his teammates.
Oh, what a move by Starks! Over the head as he drove across the lane to give the Knicks a 79-70 lead. 25 for John Starks. He's the high man of the game. Sprewell. What a gorgeous drive. Terrific extension to the rim. 20 for Sprewell. That's a 3-point attempt. And Grant lost it. It'll be Nick Ball.
The last Knicks basket by John Starks, faking right and left across the basket, coming back with the right hand. And the man he's matched up with. What a matchup this is tonight. Sprewell extending right around John Starks. One dribble. A long distance covered by Sprewell on that drive.
Starks sitting down, 25 points. He hit 4 from downtown.
A rest for John Starks, as Pat Riley knows John will be important in the last 5 minutes of the game.
Patrick Ewing is back on the floor. Ewing? Yes. 14 for Ewing. The Knicks say he won. The Warriors 72. Jennings tried to do it off the dribble. He was fouled up top by Anthony.
Number 50, Greg Anthony, first personal foul.
Marv, the difference for the Knicks now, as we see the Golden State Warriors battling hard, is that the Knicks are getting good outside shooting. And that shooting changes things. The Knicks have been shooting 44% from the field over the last 8 games. That has been their problem. But with this kind of jump shooting now, putting things in their direction.
Sprewell, bad shot. He had no vision at all. Nice lead from Ewing. Oakley fouled, held by Grant. Right throughout, the Knicks have been able to push the ball down court effectively against the Warriors. Don Nelson in a chat with 2 young players, Keith Jennings and Josh Grant. Josh Grant played for Rick Majerus at Utah. He is one of Don Nelson's closest friends. At 26, he is the oldest rookie in the NBA. The latest college career for 3 years to serve a church mission in England. A 2nd-round draft pick of Denver, and they dealt him to Golden State.
I think the Knicks, the Golden State Warriors, however, like Chris Mullin so much naturally that they tried to get someone who looked as much like Chris as they possibly could and came up with Josh.
Not even close.
Lefty.
Oh,
look.
John, you know, you have this thing where you try to compare people, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Byron Houston, George Foreman, very good. Josh Grant and Chris Mullin, they're both human beings. That's the comparison. You got to be kidding me.
I kid you not, Mark.
Here's a 3-point attempt.
Runs like Mullin, too.
Yeah, right. All right, off the steal. Here's Jennings. Four minutes gone by in the 4th quarter. The Knicks have a 10-point lead. Weber stopped effectively by Oakley. Now Jennings for 3. Keith Jennings from downtown, and the Knicks lead is 7. Foul call on Jennings. Billy Owens returns. Victor Alexander will sit down.
30, Billy Owens returns for Victor Alexander.
So, Owens up front with Weber and Grant. Knicks 7 of 14 from long range. Golden State 3 of 9. Owens now guarding Ewing. Ewing gets position. Beats Owens. This is where the Warriors can suffer in this matchup. Alexander was doing a nice job. He sat down. Don Nelson was able to keep him alive despite the 5 fouls. Here's Grant for 3.
Ewing is truly rising above the crowd now. Both ends of the court.
Davis. That was a 3-point attempt. Davis on the follow. Goes to the left hand. And Davis gets back to it. And the call made away from the ball. Apparently a 3-second violation.
25, Chris Gatling return.
Now Chris, no, they say traveling violation. All right, travel on Davis. Chris Gatling is back.
Weber and Oakley going at it. Oakley putting as much pressure as he can on the rookie. Succeeds.
Beautiful play by Oakley, knocked the ball away, leading to this. Anthony all the way. And the Knicks now lead 86-75.
Well, when Gray gets accelerating to the basket, he can be tough.
Jennings with the air ball on the 3, and the Warriors are now in disarray. Shot clock at 7. Mason very close to a travel. Ewing, yes. Knicks pulling away, lead by 13, and the Warriors call for time with 5:44 remaining in the fourth.
Madison Square Garden television announcers have the David Rickey look, designers of custom wardrobe.
By a farm or something, you sit there, you cry, you're frustrated. You say, why me? Why am I being punished this way? Just have to prove I'm a bigger man and bounce back. And he said that he's gotten terrific support from his teammates and his family, and showing some signs. Hit a 3 earlier. Got to look for little things.
Well, his buddy John Stark said Greg has such high expectations of himself, and he just hasn't been living up to them. And also, Greg was disappointed after a good exhibition season that he didn't get the starting point guard job that he had earlier last year to enjoy great success in that position. So he's battling back, keeping his head up.
Good defensive sequence by the Knicks, and Johnson had to pop it up with the shot clock down to 3. Rejected by Ewing. But a good follow. Avery Johnson connects on the follow. The Knicks now with an 88-77 lead. We come up on 5 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. Johnson picked it off. Jennings for 3. Ewing with the rebound. Ewing battling Weber.
Smart move by Ewing, clearing the boards and dribbling away from the clutter around him, giving it up to the guard.
Now the Warriors trying to apply pressure, desperately trying to get the ball back. Shot clock at 5. Knicks bench counting it down. Davis bottled up. Johnson lost it, then recovered, but slowed the break. Owens with the open shot through a brick.
That's the part of his game, Marv, that really needs work, the jump shooting.
Ewing couldn't get to it. Here comes John Starks. Sprewell is back. Whoa! Elbow delivered by Ewing on Gatling. Dr. Rivers getting set to check back in. Well, Golden State holding their own on the boards. Knicks with that slight edge. We're down to 4 minutes remaining, fourth quarter. And Johnson's pass, rather a Jennings pass off the mark. Now here comes Rivers, so the Knicks have a backcourt of Rivers and Starks. Oakley up front with Ewing and Mason.
So far, so good for Pat Riley's prescription for success tonight, Marv. He said the effort prior to tonight's game isn't the only thing that has to work with the Knicks. We've got to play well, not just play hard.
Starks for Oakley. Sprewell with the rebound. Sprewell. Well, the Knicks lead is trimmed to 9. Sellout crowd here at the Oakland Coliseum. 15,025. 197th straight capacity crowd. And a pushing foul charged to Owens. That's number 4 on Owens, 4 on the Warriors. Knicks trying to make it a road record of 7-2, overall record 12-4. Starks. Ewing missed the slam. Warriors hanging in. Still lots of time. 3 minutes, 10 seconds to go. Johnson. And Mason gets to it. Mason with that hesitation dribble going between the legs. Crowd wanted to travel. Sloppy pass. Ewing nearly coughed it up. Starks recovered. Here's Ewing. Oh! Mason on the follow. Who drove the layup. Owens. It counts as a foul. And the Knicks are allowing the Warriors to get back into it.
Well, the Knicks are playing at the tempo the Warriors want. Warriors have to play quickly to get back in this game. The Knicks are responding similarly, but they're not as efficient as they were. Owens using his height advantage over Doc Rivers. Smart move by him, spinning inside, drawing the contact.
Pat Riley shuffling, inserting Hubert Davis, going to a 3-guard alignment. Charles Oakley sits down, and Owens to the line. Owens not a good free throw shooter. And in a game like this, you can see how the bad foul shooting just kills the Warriors. They're down by 7. They've hit only 12 of 23 from the line. Davis with a dangerous pass and very fortunate to get it back. Then got it inside. Ewing went short, and then it was last touched by the Warriors. Timeout is being called. Knicks take the timeout with 2:28 left in the fourth.
Knicks fans, get your copy of the all-new 1994 official New York Knicks yearbook today. This 120-page yearbook is a true collector's item with articles by New York's top sports writers, rare never-before-published photos, even a special 30-page section commemorating the first quarter-century of Knicks basketball.
Also a reminder, Saturday at 4 p.m., St. John's takes on Colgate in the Lapchick Memorial Tournament live from Madison Square Garden here on the MSG Network, the best in the game.
2:28 remaining in the fourth quarter. Neither club shooting well here in the fourth quarter. Knicks have had their opportunities to put it away. They've led by as many as 13, but Golden State is within 7. As we resume following the timeout, it will be Knick ball, and the Knicks are going with the 3 guards. This time it's Starks, Rivers, and Davis, along with Mason and Ewing.
Well, Pat Riley has to be pleased with the intensity. The execution here in the last couple of minutes hasn't matched earlier execution for the Knicks, but they are digging hard.
Davis had difficulty finding someone.
Patrick Ewing was the intended receiver. Too much on it.
So the Knicks have not scored in the last 3.5 minutes. Grant being played by Ewing. Grant had the 3-point attempt blocked by Ewing. Starks met by the double team.
2 minutes.
And again, Davis lost it. Here's Johnson. Offensive foul. And Hubert Davis is very upset with himself for those successive turnovers.
Yes, it's rare to see Hubert in that give-up situation as much as we have seen in the last couple of minutes. Knicks getting back quickly on defense in transition. Johnson pushing that ball too hard himself as the turnovers, which have killed his team of late, despite their winning 6 and 7 coming in tonight, are really hurting them.
Minute 40 remaining in the fourth quarter. Rivers for Ewing, and again not able to hit. Ewing, yes. Patrick Ewing that time goes to the hook.
Patrick better rethink those one-handed slams. He hasn't had success with that tonight.
Knicks lead by 9. Weber from long range, not the man you want shooting from outside. With a minute 20 remaining in the fourth quarter. Some anxious moments here down the stretch for the Knicks. They turn it over again, but Mason on the recovery. A break for the Knicks. Anthony Mason got it back. And the Knicks now lead 92-81. Avery Johnson for Keith Jennings. Three-point attempt off the mark. And we're under 1 minute remaining fourth quarter. The crowd beginning to file out, and that should do it. Although the Knicks very sloppy here in the final minute. Starks getting the roll. 27 points for John Starks, and the Knicks now lead by 13. Weber for 3. We're down to 40 seconds. So the Knicks closing out a successful West Coast trip. They will make it 2 out of 3 after the loss in Utah. They beat the Lakers, and they will beat the Golden State Warriors. Shot clock down to 5. Here is Ewing. Rebound Mason. He thought he was pushed.
Looks like that from this end of the court as well, Marv. This will be the 9th time, by the way, in 16 games now. The Knicks are holding their opponents under 90 points.
Chris Weber just continues to fire away from long range. He is 4 for 17 for the game. So the Knicks defeat the Warriors 94-81. And they go to 12 up and 4 down. They make it 7 out of 9 on the road. Golden State drops to 9 and 8. John Starks, the high man for the Knicks, with 27. Patrick Ewing finished up with 20 points. High man for the Warriors, Latrell Sprewell with 22. The Knicks 94, the Warriors 81. We'll be back to recap in a moment.
Football.
We check out the leading scores rundown brought to you by your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealers. There's only one Jeep, and it's only at your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealers. Starks 10 of 20 from the field. He hit 4 from downtown. He had 27. Patrick Ewing with 20 points and 17 rebounds. 7 of 17 shooting for Ewing. Oakley had 13 points, 13 rebounds. Solid game for Charles. Anthony Mason with 10 points along with 6 rebounds. And Tony Campbell in a second straight start with 8 points. Golden State led by Latrell Sprewell, who had 22. Shot only 8 for 22 from the field. Billy Owens with 16. Victor Alexander, although in foul trouble throughout, had 12. And Avery Johnson with 9. Chris Weber shot 4 of 16 for 8 points. All right, we'll take a break right here. When we come back, John will be chatting with John Starks.
Of all the credit cards,
A Warrior, though, for a brief period, and he is on the floor with John Andres.
Thank you, Marv. Yes, John, you, as you know, were a former Golden State Warrior. You happy you're in New York, or would you rather be here?
I'm happy in New York. I can tell you that much. You know, it's fascinating to come back here and play against my old teammates, so to speak, and do well.
Did you feel that Don Nelson treated you well when you were here? Because you saved your best for Golden State last year. You averaged 28 a game against him. Tonight you were right there again.
He treated me very, very well when I was here. I don't have any complaints about, you know, coming in here and playing for Don Nelson. I think he's enhanced my career and taught me some valuable things while I was here.
John, what was the plan of the team tonight? The Knicks have been struggling a bit lately, haven't been in the groove, so to speak. Tonight there was a consistent effort throughout. How did Pat Riley address that?
Well, we just wanted to come in here and make a concerted effort to get down the court. I think everybody was into the game. You know, at the end of the game, we were very sloppy, but we pulled it out in the end.
John, what got you back on target with your three-point shooting? 4 for 8 tonight was very impressive.
Well, I just wanted to come out and just not think about anything but shoot the basketball. I've been in sort of a funk, so to speak, and just come back out here and just make a strong effort and concentration.
John, you discarded your face guard a couple of games ago after breaking your nose. Tonight you got it, looked like you got it injured again. Was that very painful?
It was. I thought I had broke it again. I seen some blood come out my nose, but you know, this is the second time I didn't had it hit since I, you know, discarded face mask, and it's holding up very well.
John, the position of the team now going home Saturday to Indiana, the team's kind of been up and down. How would you describe the play of the team? Do you feel they're in the groove now, returning home after this pretty good road trip?
You know, I like to say we came out here and got 2 wins, and I don't think we're in the groove that we want to be in. You know, it always feels good to go home with 2 wins underneath your belt.
Got to feel good for John Starks to have the touchback, too. John, congratulations on a nice game, and thanks for visiting with us.
Well, thank you, John.
Okay, now back to Marv Albert.
All right, John, yes, a strong game for John Starks, who will receive the American Express gift check. Think of it as a universal certificate that can be used to buy anything just about anywhere. Gift checks available where American Express traveler's checks are sold. And some of our guests receive a watch from Fendi, the 900 series, registered Italian design, finely crafted in Switzerland with an ETA quartz movement for precision timekeeping. The Fendi timepiece collection available at select Macy's stores. We'll be back in Oakland in a moment.